Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Rachel Matthew, the founder of All Things Women. Now, All Things Women is an online community geared to educate and empower women on everything sexual and reproductive health. In the month of October, it is recognized globally as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And today we have a very special video because we have a very special guest with us. We have with us Nickiesha Daley. She is a surgical technician at a major hospital here in Jamaica, the mother of 2 children. And in December 2019, she was diagnosed with stage 2B breast cancer. And she's here to tell us about her journey. Let us welcome Nickiesha Daley. Hi, Nickiesha.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. I thought it was very important to speak with someone who has gone through the struggles of breast cancer so as to make, especially women, become more aware about the disease itself and what exactly to do when it is that she recognizes there's a difference with her breast. So I think it's very important that we shed light on this illness. So before I start discussion on your personal journey with breast cancer, tell me one word that describes the person you are because of it and why.
Breast cancer have changed my life significantly. Before, I was an outgoing person with I would say, a very reserved personality. Before, I would care much about what persons think or say about me, but going through that journey, I realized that life is what it is, and there's no life if you're not in it. So the best thing to do is to live your truth. So the one word that would sum everything up is living my truth.
Okay, then living your truth, being bolder. Okay, awesome. So when did you first notice that there was something wrong with your breast? When did you notice a change in your breast?
I noticed a change one morning. I was standing in the shower. I think it was in November 2019. I took my brother-in-law to see the doctor. On my way, while I was getting ready, while I was in the shower, I felt that lump. So because I was going to the doctor with him, I've decided that I'm going to check myself out as well. I didn't want to waste any time.
Okay, so you were on top of things right away.
Right away.
Okay, because in my conversation with so many women, one of the things that stops them or prevents them from going to a doctor is fear. Because in their head already, they have come up for diagnosis and they don't want to lose their breast. And that is why some of them wait a year, 2 years before they go to the doctor. So I'm happy to hear that as soon as you detected the lump, you got it checked out one time.
Yes. The same day I checked it out.
Okay, so when you went to that doctor that day and you told him about the breast, what was the conversation like?
I just walked into his office and I said, Doctor, there's a lump in my breast. And his exact response was, go get your dockets and come let me have a look.
All right.
Yes. So I fetched dockets, I went back. On the examination table, the lump could not be found. I said to him, Doc, I felt it this morning and I'm not leaving here until you feel it. Because I know it is there. So I said, because of the type of person that he knows that I am, he knows that I'm not going to rest well unless he checked it out properly. So actually what I did, I remember I searched for the lump myself, and when I did find it, I put his finger on it. I said, Doc, see here, it's right here.
Okay, so you found the lump. What was the next step at that appointment after finding
At that appointment, he said, okay, Nikki, I'm going to send you for a breast ultrasound. And I did just that on that very same day.
So you did the ultrasound. I guess you got a report maybe a day later, or was it the same day you got the report?
Okay, the doctor told me, I remember it was a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor told me that I would not get the results until Friday. I'm like, Friday? No, Friday is too long. I can't wait until Friday. He said, today's Wednesday. I'll have it ready for you on Friday. So I went back to work. I went upstairs. I remember, honestly, I was very nervous because while I was on the table doing the ultrasound, the doctor told me that it looks suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And he also said that he would recommend a biopsy. So I was scared, to be honest. I rushed upstairs. I went to Dr. And I said, Doc, I think I have breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor said, Miss Daley, you can't say that unless
Mm-hmm.
you're sure. You can't just decide that that's what you have. I said, sir, well, I went to Dr. McBean. Based on what I saw on the ultrasound machine, something is not right. I asked him to call Dr. and ask if he could send the result to him by email that very same day. So he did.
Okay then. Before we even continue, what made you so unafraid to use the word breast cancer?
What I will tell persons, fear is what trigger most women not to get treated on time. I don't see why we should be afraid of it because it's not something that we purchase in a shop or in a store. It is what it is, and we just need to just accept that this is it. What we need to do is to decide that whether we're going to allow cancer to take us out or we're going to fight and live. So I'm not ashamed of it.
Okay, awesome, resilient. Okay, so you did ultrasound. It was sent or emailed, I should say, to your doctor. Okay, that same evening.
Right.
Was it that same day, I should say? All right, so what happened after that? After the email was sent to him?
After the email was sent, he told me that Miss Daley, you will have to do a biopsy.
Yes.
I agreed.
Okay, and when was biopsy done?
Biopsy was done, that was when the biopsy was done the following Tuesday because the surgeon of choice only operates on a Tuesday.
Okay, then, gotcha.
It was a wide excisional biopsy.
Just for the viewers, there are different types of biopsies. So the needle biopsy or finding biopsies where you actually have a syringe, it goes into that area and you pull it up so you get the actual cells of the tumor. A core biopsy, you get a slicing or a piece of the tumor itself. An excisional biopsy, all right, is where you get the actual lump itself. So just to let the viewers know different types of biopsy. All right. Okay. So that means they would have numbed the area or you were asleep. Which one did they do for you?
I went to sleep.
Okay then. All right. How long did it take to get the results from the biopsy?
Okay, I sent it off that very same day. 3 weeks later, the results came back.
And tell me, how were those 3 weeks as you waited for the results?
I'm kind of crazy. Personally, I say I'm kind of crazy and I don't take life seriously, but I just don't dwell on things. Honestly, during that 3 weeks, I had a blast. I went to Kingston for family reunion dinner. I remember we were having a party at work, some ray of hope, some support party for one of the doctors that had to be shipped overseas. I think you might be aware of it. For surgery, Dr. Fletcher. And I tell you, I went to his party.
Oh, yes, I remember that. There was a party in Mandeville, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I had a ball. When I got home, I was so ashamed of myself because I lost my dressing.
Listen, you can't, sometimes how I see things in life, you can't worry about things you can't control, you know.
Exactly.
You can't control it, you can't make the results come any faster. So might as well live in the moment.
Because I told myself, I'm not going to waste my worry because what if I'm here worrying sick and then when the results come back, it is okay. So I would have been worrying in vain. But I tell myself, I'm not going to waste my worry. So I had a blast. I had a very good time.
Okay then. All right. So 3 weeks later, you now attend your appointment where the doctor doctor has disclosed to you the results of that biopsy.
Yes.
Paint for me the actual picture of that day, set the mood for me, everything about that day. And when he, up to the moment when he said the words, this is so and so.
Okay, so I was at home. I remember I was on the afternoon shift, 2 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I was here preparing myself to go to work. But I'm a foodie, so of course I was in the kitchen preparing my lunch.
Mm-hmm.
While I was preparing my lunch, I got a call from Dr. and said, Miss Daley, hi, how are you? I said, sir, I will tell you how I am as soon as you tell me what you call me to tell you. I said, as soon as you call me to tell me what you want to tell me, I will tell you how I am doing.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Miss Daley, what do you mean? I said, sir, you obviously have something to tell me. So, okay, go ahead and tell me. He said, Miss Daley, boss is asking you to come into his office so that he could have a word with you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we work in the medical field. We know what it is. Once a doctor called to say, come to office for your results, you already know what the result is. So I said, sir, please tell me. I'm a strong girl. I'm a big girl. He said, no, Miss Daley, you have to come. Let boss talk to you. I said, okay, sir, I get the answer, but I'll be there shortly.
You get the answer? That's what you told him?
Yeah, I told him I got the answer already.
You're something else.
I know. So I called my supervisor. She's the manager for the operating theater, but she's also my very good friend. So I called her and said, sister, I'm going to be late for work because Dr. called to tell me that Dr. results are back and Dr. wishes to speak to me in his office. She's an exciting type, you know. Whether it's good or bad, she gets excited. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, Nickiesha, you know what it is? Oh, you want me to meet you over there? I said, sure. So I got ready, put on my breastplate, and I went to his office because I told myself from the minute the lump was felt to the biopsy, I told myself that if that's what it is, I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to ask God to give me the strength to deal with it. So while I was in the office, I sat there, she sat there with me. She was more nervous than I was. Doctor came, and all four of us was in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And doctor said, do you know why you're here? I said, yeah, you're about to break the big news that I have the big C, right? He said, Nikki, and he started to tell me that, well, the results came back and it is positive, saying that you have CA and blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay, sir. And I said, okay, sir. I suspect that was what you were calling me to tell me anyway.
What was going on?
So while we were sitting there now, he started to, honestly, I didn't cry at that exact moment. So while I was sitting there, he was explaining to me different procedures, what I want to do, how I want to move forward. What broke me down initially, though, is that everyone was like literally talking at the same time. My friend was trying to console me at the same time. Doc was talking, and I break down in tears. I broke down, started to cry. But when I started to cry, something came to me and I said, can I be excused for a minute? And I went into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror at myself crying. And I said, girl, why are you crying? You know that this was coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have this way of talking to myself. So I said to me, you know what? You're going to wash those tears away and you're going to stop crying. No. And for some reason, the tears just went.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back into the office and we continued the discussions on the way forward.
Mm-hmm. When you left the office, did you disclose news to any of your family members? At that
Yes,
same day.
I called my grandfather first because he was my best friend. Like I could tell him anything. And then he started crying. And then of course, because he's crying, it breaks me down. So I started crying too. And then I said, girl, didn't I tell her not to cry? And I said, Granddad, I'll call you back because I want to get, because he's taking it so hard now. He's breaking me down.
Yes.
So I hung the phone up from him and then I called my spouse and I told him what was happening. And he like, Jesus Christ. And I said, please, I'm asking you, do not cry. Maybe this is a blessing you can never tell. And his exact word to me was, how does this becomes a blessing? I said, you may never know. Could have been worse, at least it's my breast. That's what I said. But before I left the office though, when I was given the option of lumpectomy, I was given the option of skin nipple sparing mastectomy, and I was given the option of the radical.
Yes.
So I chose the radical. Radical meaning remove the breast with lymph nodes and all that stuff.
Yes. Okay, what made you choose that option?
As a surgical technician, or should I say as operating room tech, I've seen many women suffering from this disease who try to hold on to the breast. And the outcome I've never seen a positive outcome.
Okay, so you chose option that would increase your chances of the unlikeliness of it returning, of the cancer returning. Okay, then gotcha. So at this point now, you have told your close persons in your circle, you are aware of your diagnosis, and what is the next step after that? After you have been told the diagnosis, what was the next appointment geared towards? Next doctor's appointment geared towards now?
Okay, for me, it was kind of different because I'm in the system.
Yes.
I was asked as to when I wanted to do the surgery. And I said, of course, I said tomorrow.
You know what I like about you, Miss Daley? You're like, let's get this done right away. No time wasted. It is what it is. I have no time to cry. I need to survive this. This is this. And no tears right now. I got to do this.
I want to live. I didn't care about the breast. Nothing. I just want to get rid of it, start my treatment because I want to live. I want to be old and gray.
Yes. Before we even go there, I never asked you, how did your children respond to the diagnosis when you told them? How did they react? And how old are they?
My daughter, at the time, she was 18. My son was 16.
Okay. So how did your 16 and 18-year-old children react to that news?
I think they took it as well as I did.
Okay.
My daughter started to cry and I said, baby, don't worry about it. Cancer is not a death wish, not anymore. Mommy can beat.
Yes.
We can. And she said, Mom, you're sure? And I think the reason why she broke down, she had a friend who was having a good time with her mom, went to the kitchen to get something from the kitchen, and around that same time, and when she get back to the room, her mom was dead.
Ooh, that was traumatizing.
So for her, it was very traumatizing, but I said to her, listen, you know me. I'm like, you know me. I got this.
Yes.
And even when I'm feeling down, I never showed them that I was feeling down.
And you have a very contagious, upbeat spirit. So, I mean, you just saying, don't cry. Like, okay, I'm not going to cry. I have to be strong for mommy, right? You have a very upbeat, strong spirit, I must say. And I haven't even met you in person. I've just met you virtually. And I really get that from you. Very contagious spirit.
Yeah.
All right. So going back now, you told the doctor the next day you want to have this surgery. What was his response?
He said, Miss Daly, it doesn't work like that.
Oh my God.
So I said to him, okay, sir, I will wait until in the new year after the Christmas then. And he said, okay. And then I thought about it and I said, you know what, delay is dangerous. So I called him back and I said, sir, what about the 17th? Because that was, when I got diagnosed, it was like the 4th of December.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what about that? I called him from, I can't remember, I called him when I get home and I said, sir, what about the 17th? He said, okay. Then I called him back again and said, sir, you know what? How about the 10th?
What is making you determine these dates? What are you looking at? What making you determine these dates?
Okay. First, I was looking at the 17th. I was looking at after the Christmas because I love Christmas, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about all the food I'm going to miss out on because I'm a foodie. So I said, oh, in the new year. But when I thought about it, I said, are you gonna put your health beyond? You're gonna put Christmas above your health?
Mm-hmm.
So when I said the 17, I worked the maths out and I said 17 is too close to Christmas, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I said the 10th because at least I would have a window. I started calculating how long I would have the draining, how long I would be down before Christmas. And so I said, okay, I settled for the 10th.
So your surgery date was based on your belly? It was
Yes.
based on your belly.
It wasn't just about my belly.
Oh, good. All right.
It wasn't just about my belly. I like everything. Mm-hmm. So I use the positive of the negative to do what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the final date was the 10th for your surgery? Okay. How did you feel the day before the surgery and then the day of the surgery? Wait, my question should be, was it the day before you were admitted? When were you admitted? How long in advance were you admitted?
I wasn't admitted.
Okay then. So how did you feel the day prior to your surgery? What were thoughts going through your mind? How did you prepare for that surgery?
I just live like, I pretended like nothing was happening.
Okay then.
The day after my diagnosis, I went shopping with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
We would dress like hot post and then we go to Maple and we shop.
Mm-hmm.
That was just before doing my that was before doing my CT scan because the doctor had told me that I couldn't do the surgery the following day because there are a series of tests that will have to be done for surgery. So I had to do the CT scan and I had to do the bone scan to make sure that I'm not missing and that kind of stuff.
Because it was an important process in staging your cancer. Yes.
Right. So I did my CT scan. I went shopping. I think the Wednesday, I went to Kingston for my bone scan. Got all my results back on Friday and I did my surgery. First thing, I was the first on the table, Tuesday the 10th of December 2019.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how long it took for your surgery to be completed? Were you told?
I wasn't told. I have a rough idea because, we do that every day.
Yes.
So it all depends. I have very small breasts, so I don't think it took over an hour though.
All right then. So you say you were never admitted. So after you recovered in the recovery room and you were cleared, you were sent home.
Oh, sorry, my apology. Because the question you asked was how long I was admitted before the surgery. I wasn't admitted before the surgery.
Okay, so you came the day off.
I came the day off because my doctor wanted me to overnight. And I said, sir, but I am not sick. Why would you want to have me with all these sick people? Can I just come as an outpatient?
Are you guys hearing this? Oh gosh.
I remember asking Dr. Ash, can that be done? And he said, sure, I will call the ward and reserve the bed. So that's what The day of the surgery, I dressed like I'm going to a hotel. Tall hair, makeup on fleek, high heel shoe, fully suitcase like I'm going to a 5-star hotel, you know.
Fake it till you make it.
Yes. Fake it and make it.
Yeah. All right. So the surgery was done, and of course, you admit you had to remain at hospital. How long were you in hospital for post surgery?
Just the night of the surgery.
Okay. What was your initial or your first reaction when you looked down on your chest and you saw the dressing and you saw the drainage? What were the first set of thoughts going through your mind?
Thank you, Jesus, my way.
Hallelujah. All right.
That's all I was worried about. Just let me wake up.
All right. What about your family when you went home and they saw mommy in her dressing and a drain? And no, you wouldn't have been sent home with the drain, would you?
Yes, yes. Because what happened?
How long did the drain remain for?
3 days.
Okay then. So what were your children's reaction when they saw mommy with the drain and the dressing?
They didn't feel, funny enough, they didn't react. There was no reaction. Even if they felt bad, they didn't show it. They didn't show that side to me.
Okay then. All right. As I say, your spirits are very contagious. So I guess it would have been hard for them to be sad when mommy's so bubbly and, remain positive.
Because what happened, while I was in the hospital, my mom, she came around.
Mm-hmm.
And she started crying. I'm like, no bother with it.
Mm.
Don't bother with it. Don't do it. Don't cry. Don't break me down. I'm fine. And I think I upset her saying that because after I think you remember she spent 5 days with me after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And she never came back.
She never came back.
She never came back. She never visited, even when I was going through my keep, she never came back.
You ever asked her why?
No.
Okay then. All right. Okay. How soon it was when you found out? When you could actually see the breast or the missing breast itself, when you could see the stitches and just lack of that breast. And which breast was it again? Which breast?
Left.
Mm-hmm. How soon after?
I still wear whatever I used to wear before because I don't care. I just live.
Mm-hmm. What do? You put a padding or you just leave it as?
No, I wear a prosthesis.
Okay, all right. So that day, when you saw the actual surgical wound, how long after the surgery was that? Because I guess you would have been seeing dressing all along.
Yeah, it was in the dressing all along. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember. I didn't see it until about 5 days after when I went for my first dressing.
Yes. Was the reaction any different from when you woke up that same day, 5 days prior, and noticed your breast was missing? What was the reaction when you saw the actual missing, when you saw the empty space there without any breast?
It felt weird.
It felt weird.
Having the dressing there, for some reason, it felt like the breast was still there.
Okay.
Yeah, it felt like the breast was still there.
Okay. I think one thing we haven't spoken about in terms of treatment is the chemotherapy. What has been your experience with chemotherapy?
Everyone have their different experiences. Thank God for me, with just like everything else, mine went exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
First thing first, I did 16 rounds of chemotherapy, 4 cycles of the adriamycin, that red thing. I don't even like to call the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. But it didn't affect me as badly as the persons that I saw around me. I don't know if it has anything to do with my diet,
Mm-hmm.
a mindset, or my lifestyle. I don't know. But it didn't affect me badly at all. No vomiting, no diarrhea, no nausea, nothing. When I'm doing my treatment, before and after, while I was doing my treatment, I try to exercise every day. I drink twice as much as the amount of water that I should normally. And soup and porridge, they were like my best friends.
Oh, so you were unable to tolerate solid food because
I
of
eat
chemotherapy?
everything.
Or you also didn't affect your diet, the normal diet that is. Before this actual surgery itself, did you go through any courses of chemotherapy? Or was it only afterwards?
Afterwards,
Okay,
about
afterwards.
about a month after the surgery, that's when I started chemotherapy.
Currently, are you still receiving chemotherapy, or are you now cancer-free and that is it for treatment?
Well, I believe I'm cancer-free.
Yes.
From the minute I did my surgery, that was the belief, to be honest with you. And that's why I started living life normally. I did not allow chemotherapy. One of the things that I wanted to point out to you is that there are persons who got diagnosed need to be careful who and whom they take advice from as it relates to their course of treatment.
Yes.
Because I have had persons malice in me because I did not take their instructions. Persons can be very convincing to tell you that this will work and that will not work. Most of my family and friends, they were totally against chemotherapy. But I am the type of person who trust my instincts, and I tend to lean to what I believe is right and to where I will get the best prognosis. Because a lot of persons have swayed away from conventional medicine, would go herbal because herbal works better for some, or those two better. My advice to viewers, listen to your oncologist. Listen to your oncologist.
And Nickiesha, I've seen that so many times. I remember this particular time, I can't remember how old she was. And after maybe a year or so of doing her home remedies, she finally came in. And it was a fungating breast mass. So fungating just means literally look like a big old mushroom fungus or whatever growing on the breast. The skin around the mass has eroded. So you're seeing that mushy. I'm trying to be as descriptive so that they understand. I'm fungating.
You see a cauliflower
mushy.
that looks
yes,
a spoiled cauliflower.
After a whole year or two of home remedy, and when they come and it's advanced like that, they want the doctors to work miracles.
It can't work.
At that point, it's already, yes, it's unfortunately too late. There's not so much that can be done at that point.
Breast cancer is not a death sentence. Once you detect it, treat it early, you can live to be 120 years old. Yes. What kills is frustration and delay.
And also not having a positive spirit, because you might go through the chemotherapy, you might go to the doctor soon as you feel the breast mass, but depending on your attitude towards diagnosis, you might already have in your mind, oh, I'm going to die.
Right.
I haven't gone through any research papers to see how much attitude is linked to diagnosis of illnesses, but I know the mindset of a person can be the fall or rise of a person, for sure. So yes.
Because I remember when I was doing chemotherapy, I met this young lady, early stage breast cancer, and within 3 rounds of chemotherapy, she went. Because each time she's there for treatment, she's so frustrated, she's so worried. Every single thing affects her mentally. She cries for everything. If she's told that her doctor is not here as yet, she cries.
So what's the support system that you had? You had your children. Who else you had? Because support system helps too.
Yes, my spouse, Chris is like a one of a kind person. He stood with me through thick, thin. Honestly, I left him like 10 times during my treatment. I'm like, oh, this is done, it's over.
Oh.
But he's like, oh, okay, all right. That's what he said. 2 minutes later or 2 days later, I called, how are you doing, my baby? Because honestly speaking, even though I take it so easy, the chemo meds, it will trigger thoughts. I'm telling you. So I would break up with him over and over and over again. So the good thing about it that he stood by me. Not many persons have that privilege where their spouse stood by them. And one of the things that I want a lot of women to know, married women or single women are only dating, but who have fiancés or baby daddies or whatever. Listen.
Yes.
Do not be harsh on them if they decide to run. It is an overwhelming situation. It is hard to deal with. It is hard to swallow. And each individual deals with things on a different level from a different perspective. So you might be saying, oh, he's evil because he left when she got diagnosed. No. Not everyone can deal with this situation. Not everyone is strong enough to stay and watch you go through all that. Not everyone is strong to do it.
So what was your reason? Probably you would have said it already or implied it already. What was your reason for leaving so many times during that treatment of your breast cancer?
More for me because I was told that, oh, and then as I said, you have to be careful who you listen to. I was, might as well I want to be in control. So I'm like, best if I'm the one who leaves. I'm going to leave before he leaves me.
Yes.
And I keep doing it over and over, and then I realize that he's not going anywhere. One of the things too, he doesn't live here, he lives abroad. And for the entire duration of my treatment, he did not visit. Not because he didn't want to, but because I wouldn't allow it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was somewhat in the fear that he might come and he's no longer attracted to me because of the fact that I only have one breast and I'm not asymmetrical anymore, and I'm not that he doesn't find me attractive, all that kind of stuff. That aside though, because of the pandemic too, and my immune system was low and I was going through treatment, I didn't want to run the risk of him coming and having me contract the virus from him. So it was twofold. It was me not wanting to die from COVID, and it was also me not wanting to see me without one of my breasts.
Yes. So when the time came, I hope if this is too personal, you can let me know. So when the time came to when he finally saw you with that one breast, what was his reaction? How did it affect your relationship?
I think it makes it better. Yeah,
Yes.
all those things that I was afraid of was not relevant. He said, listen, I accepted you for you. I did not fall in love with you. I did not love you because of your breast or your look or your shape. I love you because of the qualities that you possess. So even if you lose a foot or a hand, I'm still going to be here.
Yes, for better or for worse.
That was so sweet.
So is he here with you in Jamaica currently,
No,
or?
no, he's not.
Okay then. All right. All right. So I don't know if you'll be able to give this type of advice because in your case you are married. But what about for persons, for single women who are going through the breast cancer journey and who would eventually want to date after or maybe even during their journey? What kind of advice can you give to them? How to go about the courtship
I
process?
always say live your truth, right?
Yes.
Even for me as a married person, every day, every single day, there's a man that say, "Oh, I find you attractive." I remember 3 weeks ago, I went to a business place and there was this young man there, very nice, tall, handsome man standing there, and he's like, "Oh, you're so attractive, you look so beautiful, you're so nice." So, because what I'm trying to do, because I'm counseling so many other single women as well, I'm trying to find out what the market would be like if I'm single.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm doing a research. My husband's gonna watch it and he's not gonna like it, but I'm doing a little survey myself to see how men would react to a woman with one breast or no breast. So far I've had about 5 experiences, and trust me, men are not afraid. They are not afraid. So I would exchange numbers with the persons of interest, and
Yes.
then allowing them to get to know me first. Upon getting to know me, I'll say, "You're a sweet person. I'm interested in you. I would love to date you. However, I have something to tell you." So, and at that point, I will say, "Okay, I'm a breast cancer survivor. I only have one breast." Some of them I told them I have no breast. Would be so surprised how loving and caring they are.
Okay.
Men are not afraid to date women who have survived breast cancer.
That is good to hear. That is really good to hear.
Yes.
So
The problem though that women have to do is that don't be afraid to live your truth. If you meet or you met someone, tell them straight off the bat, "Listen, I am a cancer survivor. I lost my breast. I am in for no nonsense. If you're not serious about me, let's end it here and now." A lot of persons, men may run, but they are not the right ones. They're not mature enough to deal with this. So don't feel dismayed or feel down because you tell someone your truth and that person decided not to continue. Because even for me, as strong as I am, I've had friends who I thought were my friends. I had family who I thought was my family. And the minute I started going through my treatment, on to date, I've not seen or heard from these people.
Sorry
But
to
at
hear.
the end of the day, you have to be you. You have to know what you want out of life, and you have to move towards your dream and your goals. My dream and goal was to live for myself and my children.
My follow-up question to that, those are some very good points. Even before a woman can resume or re-enter into the dating world, she has to learn now again to love herself. So how can a woman who has lost her breast start to regain her self-esteem? What are some of the things that she can do to build back her self-esteem?
Love yourself, accept your new normal. Always remember, I always tell myself, and I will tell them to do the same, there is no life if you are not in it. So breast or no breast, you are you. Accept you for who you are. Love you for who you are. Trust me, one else will fall into place.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful. There were two questions I didn't ask. just for those who are going through chemotherapy, I would have liked to think that you lost hair during a chemotherapy session.
Yes, you can lose hair. However, I did not wait to lose mine. The minute I started treatment, I went to the barber and I shaved everything off.
Okay, then. You see, you're going to say, you say, like, I make this thing rule me. I'm going to rule it.
I am taking charge. A lot of, honestly though, when I look at it, a lot of persons, there are a lot of negative stories as it relates to breast cancer. And you only hear the negative stories, you only hear the bad stories. You never hear of a good journey and a good ending. I am one of those persons who had a positive beginning and a positive ending.
Awesome. And the breast and prosthesis, just for those who might be interested in getting one, where did you get yours?
They're sold at Cancer Society. However, I didn't get mine there. I ordered mine online on Amazon.
On Amazon. Okay. We didn't really talk about support system or support group that you established. Just let's quickly go through that before we end the interview. How you went about creating that support group?
What triggered me to start my support group? I was at work on a particular day, and my supervisor called me to speak to a young lady. I think she's your next person to interview.
Yes.
And when I listened to her story and the fact that she did not have the support that she had was the wrong support, let me say that. What happened, she started her treatment or started her chemotherapy, but she listened to the persons around her to desist, to stop from taking chemotherapy and convince her to go herbal or forget about the traditional conventional medicine. And she did. And trust me, she did not do well. So upon talking to her, and when she saw me and she realized how well I was doing, she changed her mind. She started getting her treatment, and she's doing very well now. So when I spoke to her that day, I'm saying, how many persons are going through this now? How many persons just need someone who has been through it to talk to them and have a conversation with them and to help them to make the right decisions? So that's how I started that group. I have 20 members now. It was 23 members, 2 persons died. And so the group is at actually 21. I had a new member yesterday. She is from the Bahamas. I've never met her in person. But we had a very long chat, so I added her to the group because she needs the support as well. Because one of the things that she's saying, that she made a mistake by making a decision that was not best for her. She wanted to remove the tumor and get rid of the cancer, but at the same time, she wanted to save her breast. So what she did immediate reconstruction with implants. Yes, and then she had to undergo radiation, and trust it, the outcome wasn't good. For persons who got diagnosed, please do your surgery, allow yourself some healing time, do your treatments. Because one of the things that happened, even with me, at one point, I was a little bit overwhelmed because here I am thinking that after surgery and chemotherapy, I'll be fine. I'm done with treatment. Halfway through chemotherapy, I was told, based on my receptor study, that I'm triple positive. So it is triggered by progesterone, estrogen, and HER2. So after doing chemotherapy, here I am being told halfway through chemotherapy that I will have to start Herceptin, and it will last for an entire year. I'm just about to finish chemotherapy. Why am I going to be doing this now? After chemotherapy, I was told that because of the HER2 cells, and it's, it's the most aggressive.
Yes, it is.
I have to do a minimum of 15 consecutive days of radiation.
Mm-hmm.
After finishing radiation, I'm told that I will have to take a pill for earth for estrogen now for 5 years.
Sorry, I didn't hear it cut off. A pill what?
And after completing my radiation, I was told now that I will have to take a pill, tamoxifen, for 5 years.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you're doing your treatment on the premise that, oh, I'm going to be finishing soon, but treatment can be prolonged based on your diagnosis, the type of cancer. So one have to prepare their mind to go through a number of treatments to get their best prognosis possible.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and not only that, the side effects of some of these treatments, because tamoxifen increases the chances of endometrial or uterine cancer. So you have to go now, you have to do screen for uterine first womb cancer for viewers who are watching. So all of those things there.
I got my scare from tamoxifen already, because 3 months ago when I did my screening, it showed thickening of the endometrium. I'm like, Jesus, Father, please, I can't go through this another time. And of course, my oncologist, the best oncologist ever, Dr. Barnica Taylor, she was like, oh, I'm going to give you, I have to send you to gynae. So I went to gynae. I did my pap smear. This pap smear was normal. But even though my pap smear was normal, I did not just leave it there. Because I want to know that if this is what is happening, I'm going to nip it in the bud as fast as possible, because I want to live.
Yes.
So I went ahead and I did a DNC. And I got my results. Thank God, everything is okay. It just came back and said effects of tamoxifen. So ladies, even though it might sound simple, or the first diagnosis, perhaps the first histology doesn't show what you're anticipating, still go ahead and do a second follow-up. Make sure, so that whatever is happening, you can catch it early and have it treated early.
So as raised to right now, presently, you're still on tamoxifen?
Yes.
What other medication are you on, if you don't mind sharing?
I don't mind. Because of the whole chemo, sometimes it can trigger, it can induce hypertension, heart disease, that kind of stuff. So I am currently taking Resilo and Nifed HTZ for hypertension.
Okay.
But as it relates to the cancer treatment, it's only tamoxifen this time.
Okay, and how often you have to have your checkups by your surgeon?
Every 6 months, I have to check for the endometrial cancer, and every 3 months I visit my oncologist. Every 3 months I still see my radiologist.
Okay, all right then. Is there one last advice that you want to? You have given so much advice, but is there one last advice that you would like to give women? An advice for women who have not done any sort of screening as yet. So women who are approaching 40, because 40 is the age where you begin to screen for breast cancer. What advice would you want to give to that particular population?
For those who have not yet been diagnosed, do your regular screening, do your self-examination. That's key. Self-examination is key. Because if I wasn't screening myself, I would not have detected that lump, and I would not have gotten the outcome that I have gotten. Early detection is key. Early treatment is key. Do what's best for you and not what's best for your family, friends, or society. Listen to your doctors.
Okay. And just to add to that, in addition to the self-breast examination, the mammograms are very important, because the mammograms pick up lesions in the breast that cannot be felt on the examination. And the mammogram can detect a lesion that would have taken 2 years to be felt Okay, so that's the importance of the mammogram. And of course, for women who have breast cancer in their family, for instance, if you have a mom or a sister who has had breast cancer, and let's say they got diagnosed at, let's say, 42 years old, that would mean that you would have to screen earlier than 40 years old. So you have to screen 10 years prior to their age of diagnosis. So you have to screen at 32 years old. Okay, women, I wish you all the best. And we'll continue to remain in contact and see what else we can do throughout the month of October and even beyond. God bless you.
And thank you for having me. And I thank my
Yes.
supporters, all my prayer warriors,
Mm-hmm.
every single one that was there for me, even the ones that wasn't, because if it wasn't some of these, negativity is what really pushed me to want to do better and for me to do better.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad when you hear all sad stories about cancer. I've had my fair share of the journey and it was not as bad as many, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. We're going to have more informational or educational videos on breast cancer. I'm going to invite some other resource persons as well to touch on different topics surrounding breast cancer. So stay tuned, viewers, for such videos as well. They'll be posted on the All Things Women YouTube page, and there you'll be able to watch them.